So a Jamaican lady literally was looking out for what she will literally put out, and the only thing she can remember, or the only thing she thinks she can produce, is using Black Americans as a sacrifice to their whatsoever. Now, this is a movie producer, and to make things worse, or to sadden things more, Black Americans came out to talk about it, and a lot of Jamaicans are not happy about it. You wanted to do a movie. Now, the only people you can see to use to reflect your movie is Black Americans. And they are not only reflecting in a good way, bad way, which is sacrificing them. This is why Black Americans will always keep telling you Caribbeans, Africans, immigrants at large do not like them. They only want what will benefit them. But anyways, we're going to be diving deep into all of that. Credits belong to the original creators of every single clips and stitches we have in our today's episode. My name is Sonia. Subscribe, like, comment, and share. And with that being said, let's dive right into this video. Let me roll out the clip for you guys so that you guys can literally watch. And I'll be back with commentaries. And let me know your honest opinion, especially as a Jamaican person, if this is actually good.
Did y'all see this story about this Jamaican filmmaker or Jamaican lady that made a movie about sacrificing Black Americans or a Black American family to save the island of Jamaica?
Django, did you see the sacrifice I gave you today? The island's already healing from the gift. No, there's more where that came from. Interview my employees for their alibis.
That's smart, Tisha. That would be excellent. However, nobody from this entire family can leave this island until we catch the murderers. And right now, you are all sus.
Where you want to make a movie about sacrificing us to save your island, which I kind of think that that's a bit of a metaphor for what how you really feel. Let's sacrifice Black Americans for the betterment of ourselves. Yeah. But I just want to say, like, you know, the hate that people have towards Black Americans, I almost really do feel like there's a spiritual warfare or something going on. There's some type of wanting this to destiny swap. I mean, I've heard all of these different things being tossed around. I didn't really silently entertain any of those things. But I mean, I'm starting to really feel like that is what is going on here. And it's starting to be proven more and more. This lady is talking about she wants to drive a B-toy to herself and unalive a bunch of us. And then people in her comment section doubling down and agreeing with her and basically saying that she didn't say anything or do anything wrong. And to me, I feel like all of this hatred and anger that's coming towards us, in my opinion, it just seems to be unprovoked, because what the hell do we really even do to anybody? All of this shit really started for real. All of this back and forth started with this delineation. At least, I mean, maybe it didn't start there, y'all. I don't know. I really don't know. But I feel like ever since the delineation talk has really been more prevalent, and we've been just saying like, no, we're not African, we're American, we're our own ethnic group. You know, we don't want to be lumped into flat Blackness. Ever since then, it's like all of this hate and this and I want to show y'all this tweet that she had wrote.
The fact that I created a horror film about how African Americans consider other Black people beneath them, and so many people try to gaslight and say that they view Jamaicans as equals and Black. Anyways, stream my movie, The Island.
When did Black Americans openly express that we think that we're better than other groups, or we think that other groups are beneath us? When did we explicitly ever say that? Because we don't want to be lumped into flat Blackness, and we want to have our own separate identity and not get everybody's garbage dumped onto our name. And then when they do something positive or successful like Shabuzi, they get an accolade, then all of a sudden it's shout out to the immigrants. I'm from Nigeria, but then if you was to do something bad, you would be under flat blackness, which will fall on us. So because we're delineating and saying, no, you keep your shit, rather if it's good or bad, keep your shit and we'll keep ours, because we're defending ourselves, that means that we think that we're better than everybody. Because we are setting boundaries, that means that we think that other blacks are beneath us, because we don't want to be lumped into some flat black title. That means that we think that other people are beneath us. That sounds a little far-fetched. Matter of fact, that sounds a lot a bit far-fetched. So I don't know why this energy is coming at us so strong. Why is it coming at our group so strong to the point where you want to make a movie about sacrificing us to save your island? Which I kind of think that that's a bit of a metaphor for what how you really feel. Let's sacrifice Black Americans for the betterment of ourselves. Leah.
A Jamaican lady made a movie about sacrificing Black Americans to save the island of Jamaica. Did y'all see that trailer? Oh my God. Did y'all? So apparently the movie is called The Island. And I seen also a screenshot of a tweet from the lady who created the short film saying, oh, Black Americans keep saying that other people of the Caribbeans are, we see y'all as viewing us as we're beneath you, but y'all are saying that we've always seen each other as equal and don't try to gaslight me. So you make a movie about sacrificing us on some voodoo shit? Everybody really has it out for Black Americans. Like in the trailer, it was like a Black American family. They were at like a hotel resort, and the woman that made the sacrifice, she was eating. It looked like she was eating the intestines and the organs of, I think it was their father or something. Like maybe she seduced him, like she was about to sleep with him or something. And then, cause I seen him like on a bed, like he was tied up, and then she was eating his insides, and she was talking to like whatever deity or whatever, saying, "Do you like the sacrifice? Did you see the sacrifice I made for you?" And then the family now is being questioned. Like, y'all know the movie or like the show Clue, where everybody's in the house and they're trying to find out like who did it, like who unalived the person. And the family is like, what the hell, we didn't do it, like, we all have an alibi. And the Jamaican police are like, well, y'all's alibi is each other, so we still got to investigate to see what's going on. And I'm just like, yo, this is insane. Now, there's a theory. I don't know if it's biblical. I'm not sure. But I've heard a bunch of people say, I have like this like lip liner anyways, that it took 7 nations to come against us, to steal our land and to destiny swap with us. And given the state of how things are present day, how it's particularly Black Americans that's attacked, berated, degraded, denigrated, belittled, and undermined by everybody, including other deeply melanated people, it's starting to make me believe that everybody's been trying to steal our inheritance, that we never came on no goddamn ship from nowhere. We've already been here. We literally already had a country that was established, cities and states that were established. A lot of these historic buildings around this country, they all say founded in whatever year, not built. And then they used to like destroy a lot of sites and destroyed a lot of ancient burial grounds and all sorts of things all around this country. They literally were dropping explosives to destroy a lot of things. And then we went through that era in the 50s and 60s, specifically when they would burn our churches down. And, a lot of doctrine is kept in churches, like a lot of genealogy, family records, deeds, a whole bunch of stuff is kept and stored in churches. And they was burning ours down. And then now, like, they're swapping, the immigrants are hijacking civil rights. Like, it's just a lot going on. But how the hell she gonna make a movie? Yo, all of this is happening during Black History Month. Like, what is going on? Like, it's spiritual warfare. But we're fighting back. And I don't think anybody ever anticipated that. Anyways, what y'all think? Let me know if y'all saw that. If y'all haven't, let me know. Then maybe I'll upload it to my platform so you guys can see what I'm talking about. But all right, bye y'all.
Basis of the movie was a Jamaican girl basically narrating how it would be a good idea to sacrifice Black Americans to save their island, which isn't even really their island, no shade, no tea. That's a whole other thing for a different day. But so I know they said this multiple times, but again, diaspora content is not my bag. That's not very liked content. That's what I like to create. But ever since I made the content about that gremlin, making the bomb threat, I felt very pulled and compelled to make content about the diaspora, but this is actually going to be like the last time but scrolling on Twitter and I see this video, or I see this tweet rather, and it's basically talking about this short film that somebody made. The whole plot of the film is a Jamaican making a film about sacrificing Black Americans to, I don't know, save their island or something stupid like that. But the reason that I felt so compelled to speak about the bomb threat situation is because I could already see where things were headed. And when that girl got on here and she made her bomb threat, she retracted it and apologized or whatever the case was, the damage was already done because there were people from the diaspora siding with her and saying that they did not see anything that she did wrong. There were mutts siding with her, saying that they didn't see anything that she did wrong. There were other African people, other Caribbean people saying that they didn't see what she did wrong. And what I've always find to be interesting is that nobody sees the wrongdoing and the things that are done to Black Americans until it's their turn. It's okay when it's us. It is not okay when it's them. It get to a place where we're making movies about sacrificing Black Americans. It's not funny, because what's going to be the next step is somebody is actually going to start making moves on these tweets and, on these videos and on these short films and, on these TikToks or whatever. And it's bound to happen, and it's a spit in the face, and I just don't understand why everyone hates us so much. Most of the time, we're just asking to be left the fuck alone. What have we done to everyone to make you all hate us so bad?
A Jamaican lady made a movie about sacrificing Black Americans to save the island of Jamaica.
Hey, shalom, everybody. I hope y'all don't mind the background karaoke. Filipinos do a lot of karaoke, so if my phone is picking it up, just know that's normal here. It's just part of the air seasoning. You know what I'm saying? What sis is realizing, and look, man, this is what I personally believe the creator is doing. Now, I'm not a prophet. I don't prophesy. This is just what I believe he's doing. I believe. Nobody told me, no angel came down, no secret revelation. This is just me, all right? I just want to put that out there. So people like, man, you saying stuff and you ain't got... No, me. All right, so, because people like to argue for no reason, man. So I just make it abundantly clear that I'm speaking from me. From how I'm seeing it, is our discernment has been turned back on collectively. For those who are tapped in, not everybody's tapped in, but for the vast majority, our discernment has been collectively turned back on. We were in a fog. We were in a daze, right? So now we see, dang, we really don't have no allies, like none. And then on top of that, stuff is starting to click. When you hear certain stuff, it's a lot of noise right now. We were Solons and Atlanteans and Tamari, and it's a lot of distractions and noise, right? And a lot of unverifiable claims. And even some legitimate claims are unverifiable by design. But right now, with that discernment turned back on, it's almost like you have a built-in BS filter. So you can tell when something is like a little too, but some stuff hit right. Like the sister mentioned, we was attacked by 7 nations for over 200 years. Yeah, multiple of us have come to that conclusion. Multiple of us have looked at the chessboard and said, yeah, that's exactly what happened. And not only did we get attacked by the 7 nations, we had sabotage from within inside our own gates too. So we fighting the enemy without and the enemy within, right? Now, why is the creator exposing these other nations to us? Because for the longest time, we was like, oh, we got to go fight for the Latino. We got to fight for the Africans. We was fighting for everybody else, right? Because we didn't know who we were. We were still under that amnesia, that funky spell that they put us under, or that we was put under, that fog. And now he's showing us this is the other nations that you wanted to be a part of. And it's abundantly clear now. Like the other nations show themselves even when they try not to. Like 1 minute a Hispanic could be, why you ain't out protesting with us? And then it's like a finger snap, and all of a sudden, mayate, N-word, slave. And you like, dang, they can't even hide their disdain. Like they can't even pretend to be our friends anymore. You know what I'm saying? Or monkey, or I don't, you know, and it's not, and even Africans used to be able to blend in, right? They come in, you know, they learn a little swag. They learn how to talk like me or talk like they from upstate. They kick their little African accent, and they get what we got going on. And then you can't tell the difference. Now you can almost sniff them out. Like you could be standing right next to one and he could sound like DMX. Hey, well, what's up? And you like, that's African. You know what I'm saying? You just know. Like he could have changed his name and everything. He could have changed his name to Tyrone Johnson and be, yo, what's up? And you like, yeah, that's an African. Straight up tether. I just know it. And like, you like, dang, you know, and you like, man, where you from, bro? Well, I'm from upstate. Like, where your people from? Oh man, you know, my grandfather was Nigerian. We can't, It's like, we can tell now. It's like we got, you know how like back in the day, the gay dudes kept saying they had gaydar and they could tell when somebody was hiding it. We got African dar. You know what I'm saying? We got tether dar now, where we can look and be like, dang, that's not one of us. Immediately. You can't hide it. The energy is just there. Even the stuff y'all say. Like whenever I see a person that look like me or similar to me, get on this social media talking about, why aren't we doing more for the immigrants? And I immediately know you either a tether or it's in your bloodline somewhere, because all of those of the bloodline of the creator, all of the chosen ones have been told to stand down collectively, which is why every single one of us is standing down collectively. We've all been told to delineate. Delineation is not new. It's old. It's in scripture. Be ye separate. Be set apart. Don't be like the other nations. Don't mingle with the other nations. Don't give your sons and daughters to the other nations. Don't worship their gods, etc., etc. We were told a bunch of times, over 40 plus times, to be separate in the Torah alone. That's only the first 5 books. I mentioned that before. That's not even including the rest of you got in the Bible. If you go with the standard Bible, there's 66 books, and 5 of those 66 we were told over 40 times not to deal with other people because of these things. So now we see the Somalians still in our funds for our community. We see these immigrants getting funds from our community. We see Africans trying to usurp any type of reparations conversation. They took over Essence Fest, destroyed it, and then now they owe 1.4 million to the vendors and ain't paid them. Africans straight stole the vendors' money. Stuff that Essence Fest ain't never had that kind of problems when we was running it. But see, they thought the Africans were suitable replacements for us. But you can't replace the soul. We got that signature touch, that fingerprint of the creator on us. Everybody knows the difference when they look. I've been overseas. I've been around Chinese, Japanese, right now Philippines, Thai. I've been around all kinds of people. All kinds of different races, Arabs. I've been to Saudi, Kuwait, Europe. Like I lived in Germany for 5 years. I've been to Kyrgyzstan, Kazakhstan. I've actually been to those places physically. And one thing they all say when they meet, a so-called Black American is there's something different between y'all and Africans. Africans know there's something different between us and them. They don't emit the same vibe we do. They can look. They can dress the look. They can cut the hair, they can lose the accent, they can change their name, but they don't have the essence. And that's why the Essence Fest lost the essence, because it kicked the essence out for the replica. You know what I'm saying? For the copycat. Africans just don't have our juice, man. They don't. The only time they get legitimacy, even in our arts, is when we give it to them. We have to endorse. Like Akon wouldn't have been Akon if we would have been like, we don't mess with it. You see what happened to that Shabuti dude or whatever, Shabuzi, whatever. We was like, we don't mess with that no more. All right, bet. That one girl that made the song Water, we was like, we ain't rocking with her. All right, when have you heard from her again? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, what certain people are, like what Michelle Lamey is to fashion is what the so-called Black American is to culture. If we don't put our seal of approval on it, it doesn't get mass adoption. You know what I'm saying? They can copy our dances, but the footwork don't even be right. They can emulate Michael Jackson and the impersonators don't get it right. You know, they nothing they do can match, because we're doing it from a different source of energy. We still look, we got put under the curses, but we did not lose the blessings. One just canceled out the other. This is why whenever people actually do right by us and we do right by each other, good things be happening. Like all of a sudden you'll hear stories of a YT family who took in a melanated young American kid, and that kid became an NFL player or something like that. It ain't the YT people that did that. Their blessing came through him because they blessed him. You know what I'm saying? They helped. It was him that did that. All they did was essentially let him rock unimpeded. Most of us are impeded. That's part of the curses. Most of us have unnecessary roadblocks and bullcrap that be in our way. Haters and other people and tethers and you know what I'm saying? But if people was to clear a lane, we would float. Look what we did with Black Wall Street, so-called Black Wall Street. Let's call American Indian Wall Street. And that's not the first time. Look how we've been able to operate. All these other immigrant groups come to America and they obviously getting welfare. We show the evidence now, and lots of it, billions of it. We're not getting none of that. And look, we're still not as downtrodden as they want us to be. Planned Parenthood didn't wipe us out. 283 wars by 7 nations didn't wipe us out. Tethers didn't wipe us out. Internal conflict didn't wipe us out. And just like when the Queen of England passed away and they broke her scepter and said she was trapped, Jesse Jackson, his passing marks a new mile marker for us, essentially saying that the African American label died with him. It passed with him. It's buried with him. It was never supposed to be part of our lineage. And he gained whatever he gained from it for his little 84 years on Earth. And now it's over. The spell is broken. The warlock is sleeping indefinitely. And so essentially, if you're paying attention, man, what's happening is there's this mass. And look, it don't matter where we are in the world. All of our discernment is pinging on the same 3 things right now. Delineate, right? Stay away from these people. Number 2, don't get involved in their nonsense. And number 3, focus on ourselves. All of us are like, we ain't even talking. It's not like we got some secret meeting or some secret group. We just all collectively like, we all feel this way. And it don't matter if you LGBTQ or any of that, because people still got time to get themselves together and repent and all of that. And so, but right now, the creator chooses who he chooses and he deals with who he deals with. And if you getting that discernment ping and that delineation, even if you ain't bought in yet or you still on the fence, it's going to come a time where you choose the right side. Anyway, I'm out. Shalom, shalom.
All right. This is a screenshot and it says Jamaican lady made a movie about sacrificing Black Americans to save the island. So the same person who made this movie is the same person who also created Captain Durag. The creator of Captain Durag is the same person who wrote this movie, right? So the writer of this movie is also a stand-up comic, and that I'm very familiar with. You know, I've watched quite a lot of her sets. I think I've probably watched all of her sets. And the thing with stand-up comics that people, some people don't realize, I mean, if you know stand-up, then you know this, but stand-up comics, a lot of them are writers, right? So you will see them do the same joke over and over, the same bit over and over. So they're actually writers, you know, so it's not all a freestyle. And what I can say is, the stand-up comedy of Camille Corbett is very much the exact same energy of this movie, this kind of writing, and also the energy of this. All right, so obviously the whole internet is up in arms. Well, not the whole internet, but the people who are up in arms, I think you have to factor in that, you know, this is a Black woman, and we tend to punish them way harder for some stuff that's just commonplace in the exact same industry. You know, we see this kind of exploitation of Black people all the time. But what I will say is that doesn't mean that Camille, you know, is not no problem. You know, I feel like it's also another classic problem that is very persistent is people with multiple ethnicities just playing hopscotch and going blah 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 blah. I'm Jamaican. Oh, I'm American. Oh, I just, you know, they're doing this hopscotch thing where they don't really have to consider anybody's else perspective, because they're like, oh well, I'm that too, and I don't feel that way. You know, I just, you know, they just make it really all about themselves and their multi-ethnicity, and really that's all it really is. I think it's just classic case, another multi-ethnic person leaning on the Jamaican ethnicity when it's fit, leaning on the American ethnic background when it's fit, and any kind of problems come their way, they're like blah 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 blah. I'm everything, so blah blah. It doesn't matter. I don't want to hear it. So that's really what I feel is happening with Camille right now. And I mean, I feel like when it comes to stand-up, I'd still consider her a young stand-up. I mean, I don't know how long she's been writing in general, but she wrote a lot of stuff, actually. Wrote for lots of different companies and stuff. So, you know, I don't think she's a rookie in any case. But if you look at, like, I guess a section of her work, like a section of the body of work, you'll definitely understand that this is Camille Corbet, you know, this kind of what do you call this now? Exploitation, that kind of weird, just like hopscotching, like ethnic, multi-ethnic, I don't even know, man. It's just a brand that I'm so familiar with, because she's not the only one who does it. Yeah, it is just so typical in comedy. People just yeah, just don't listen to anybody, especially when they claim like multiple ethnic backgrounds.
Black Americans, breathe. Breathe. You're doing well for yourself. A lot of people will come out here with a lot of nonsense just because they want to provoke Black Americans, just because they want Black Americans to say one or two things. Like I said, I'm not against anybody producing his or her movie, right? After all, we all are looking for money, and you need to get what you put out there so that you can actually get people's attention. But I'm against the fact that you look into every single blacks you choose, that is Black Americans you're sacrificing to your island. It would have just been okay if you just put it as black. Do you get? It would have just been okay like black. And you see why Black Americans, we keep saying they're always choosing their self. If I tell you the reaction that were even coming from Jamaicans, you'll be wide mouth open. But I'm going to do that in another clip, in another video. When you see their reaction, where they are saying, oh, Black Americans are overreacting over everything. Black Americans should get past it. In fact, Black Americans are literally passing out wrong information. But look at what a lot of communities are doing to them. Look at what a lot of race are doing to them. And a lot of people just expect them to keep quiet. So whenever they see this type of trailer, they should just keep quiet and let's all just move on. There are some things that is not making sense. There are some things that whenever you put it into picture, you're automatically telling them this is what your mindset is actually going towards them. Just like the video I did yesterday, where you literally see this lady opening her mouth, having the guts to say the only wish she wish, I think a Sierra Leone lady, she said the only thing she wish is to gather every Black American in one room and boom, unalive them. That's what the woman said. And then in the midst of that chaos, we already seen that the movie is being produced, that Black Americans are being sacrificed to their island, Jamaican island. I didn't see that funny. Honestly, I can't stoop so low to go watch that movie. I'm sorry to say. I'm not saying anybody should not watch the movie, right? But I can't stoop so low. Me watching that movie is like me bringing down myself. Because in one way or the other, anything you speak, anything you put out, anything you react to, that is exactly what you have deep down inside. And all we've been preaching for is unity between Black Americans, Africans, Caribbeans, people of color. Let's just come as one. Let's just unite ourselves together. Let's stop the fighting. Let's stop the backbiting. But only one person will still wake up and do whatsoever. Just like the way the Sierra Leone lady acted, and a lot of people were like, oh, Black Americans overreact too much over that. That was just literally a content. She just put out a clip just because she wanted to go viral. You don't go viral on people's detriments. You don't go viral in destroying people's image, in tarnishing people's image. You don't go viral in sending out hate. You don't go viral in a hypocritical manner. Why can't we just do things the right way, especially as Africans and Caribbeans? Why can't we just embrace each other, love each other? Why can't we do things to make each other see reasons like, oh, I love you, you love me? You go to the comment section of that particular video, you see a lot of comments pointing towards, yeah, that is really good. Black Americans are this, Black Americans are that. You see people cheering and hailing in the comment section. Oh, you people react too much. What is the big deal? She just produced a movie. You call it just a movie, but there's a lot being passed down. I don't know how else I will talk for a lot of us to be able to understand these things. But anyways, it is well. Let me know what you think in the comment section. And this is just for educational purposes only. Credits belong to the original creators of every single clips and stitches we have in our today's episode. I want to say a very big thank you to every single one of you who have always been supporting me, liking, commenting, sharing my videos, dropping super thanks, joining my membership. I do not take you guys for granted. You guys are absolutely the best. And yes, guys, with that being said, with no further ado, I do like I always say in my videos, I'm going to be saying bye and I'll see you guys in my next one. And let me know your honest opinion in the comment section. Bye for now, guys. I love you. Mwah.